the Surgeon Water Board and Head of Infrastructure, the Mayor of the Lower Ninth Ward, Mr. Henry Irvin. It's nice to see you. Thank you for having me into your city. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
And to my good friend Brunel Cotlin, who is the owner of the Lower Ninth Ward Market and has helped secure this part of the neighborhood. I want to thank him for his entrepreneurship, his investment, his representation of the United States of America on national TV, speaking about the great strength of the Lower Ninth Ward and the city of New Orleans. I really appreciate all of you being here. Pastor, thank you so much for being with us as well. Today is another step forward in our commitment to rebuild the historic Lower Ninth Ward. We've been down here many, many times. We came down the street past the Sanchez Center and the school and the firehouse. And one of the things we talked about was making sure that the Lower Ninth Ward came back. And to this point, we've had the opportunity to invest in or leverage about $500 million of assets in the Lower Ninth Ward. From the King Charter School to the Sanchez Center to the fire station that I talked about. All of these are symbols of progress. Not long ago, we opened up CVS. And not long ago, Mr. Cotlin opened up his facility here and was one of the first back. And so we've celebrated many, many, many victories in the Lower Ninth Ward, but everybody knows we still have a very long way to go. And it is because of the work of the people standing with me and around me that we continue the progress. And today, we're proud to announce the completion of the North Galvez Street roadway reconstruction project, an $8.3 million investment. And of course, you can see it. It looks spectacular. We've already completed $43 million in road projects in the Lower Ninth Ward, and there's another $52 million of projects on the way. So as you can see, from all of the evidence around you and then in the paper today, with the business leaders saying that they're very bullish about the investments that are going on in New Orleans, not only in the infrastructure industry, but in the tourism industry and the business sector and in housing sales. New Orleans continues to outpace the rest of the nation, and it's because of the work that we're doing today. And it is a result of a lot of the work that we're doing in infrastructure, because this puts people back to work. So I want to thank our architects, our engineers, our designers, the contractors, all of you men and women that are with us today. Thank you all so much for all of your work. And I particularly want to thank Councilmember Gray for all of his work, because you can't do this without great partners of the City Council. And I want to thank our community leaders that keep us focused, on task, on time, and on budget. So I thank you all so much, and please help me welcome Councilmember Gray for a couple of comments.
Well, I thank the mayor, and the truth of the matter is the most important component to this team are the people down here. The people in the lower nine see themselves as special. They are special, and they're determined to see that their community is returned, and that's how it happens. This facility is a first, but there's going to be many others. I'm having a lot of conversations with people who are determined to go back to the good old days, except they're going to go back to a lot better than the good old days. Mr. Irvin and I were down at the Sanchez Center a little bit this morning, and I commented about the fact that when he and I were worried, when he was worried about the building, I wasn't. I knew it was going to be a pretty fancy building, but I was worried about the participation, and I guess he wasn't, because the building was filled this morning, and it's full a lot of times. You ought to come to the line dance classes on Thursday nights if you don't believe it. The Lower Nine is special. We've always been special, and we're going to be special in the future. There's a lot more that's going to happen here. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Today's a great day. Pleased to celebrate the completion of this project in Lower Nine. As the mayor stated, we're in the midst of the most comprehensive infrastructure improvement program in the city's history, and this is one more exciting project that we get to complete. This $8.3 million project was funded through our street millage and constructed and we've installed new subsurface drainage here, replaced 1 mile of roadway with new reinforced concrete, new catch basins, new EDA compliant curbs and intersections, and we've replaced the sidewalks and driveway aprons and added striping. This project was designed by MYN Associates and constructed by Command Construction Company. It took about 14 months to do. Throughout the construction, the city and the contractor worked hard to minimize impacts, and I know we've got calls from Burnell, and we worked with them on issues so we could work through this and we really appreciate the patience of the people in the community as we go through this. And you'll see much more of this coming in the coming years as we undertake this major construction project of rebuilding the entire city of New Orleans. I'm now going to be followed by a few true visionary in my mind, Brunel Cotton, good friend, and someone who understood what was needed here and just went and got it done.
First of all, I want to tell everybody thank you for coming out. I would like to give a personal thank you to the mayor and to Congressman Gray because we needed this. We needed this in the Lower Ninth Ward. I've been a proud resident of the Lower Ninth Ward and the Upper Ninth Ward my entire life. And everybody know the Lower Ninth Ward was hit the hardest. And seeing the money that they spent in remodeling these streets, it means the world to me. It means the world to my family. It means the world to the community because we really need this. And I just want to tell you all thank you again because they didn't have to do this. With all the politics that's going on today, it feels so good to be in the presence of someone who say they're going to do something and they actually do it, as far as a politician. And I'm not saying it just because he's here, but I owe this man a personal thank you because I wouldn't be here without him, Walter, John, Sean. There's a lot of people I want to say thank you to, but I have to give him a personal thank you because these streets are beautiful. And for those of you that's in the city that may have a grocery store in your neighborhood, come on down to the Lower Ninth Ward and support us. The streets look good. We have a lot here to offer. Come on down to Lower Ninth Ward so I can continue to do more for my community. Just want to tell you thank you again for coming.
Thank you. Mr. Henry Irvin, otherwise known as the Mayor of Lower Ninth.
First, I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Mayor, for what we have achieved so far. We have come back a long ways. We have a ways to go. We have to be patient. When they told me it was going to take me 10 years to get to this point, I didn't believe it, but I believe it now. We need more. I want the Ninth Ward, the Lower Ninth Ward, to be not as it was. I want it to be better. I want our people to be able to come back home, and I think this street right here, this is about the third time in the 60 some years I've lived down there that this street's been fixed. I hope it's a means that'll bring a lot of people back. We have a long ways to go, and I thank the city and everybody who's done everything they could to help us get this far.
Just a couple of closing comments. Mr. Henry, I know you and I joke a lot, but I really do very much appreciate you and your vigilance because it's men like Mr. Henry who kind of hold us to purpose and actually help us rebuild the Lower Nine. And we are going to build the Lower Nine back better than it has ever been. And Brunel, I want to thank you as well. The mayors of America are asking the next president of the United States to focus on investing in infrastructure. Because when you invest in infrastructure, it creates jobs, not just for the person and the persons who are doing the building, it creates private sector investment, and it creates safety and security by providing jobs to young men that would otherwise be doing other things. And there's no better example in the United States of America than the corner of Caffin in North Galvez to actually prove that point. So as I've said to the people of New Orleans is this nation's most immediate laboratory for innovation and change. We're showing the rest of the country through the difficulties that we went through, how you transform from tragedy to triumph. And this corner is a perfect example. It's not that far from this corner to the White House and to the halls in Congress and explaining to our leaders across the country why investment in infrastructure really matters. It creates jobs, makes the cities safe, and makes the nation secure. So I want to thank everybody for all of their work. Again, I want to thank our contractors, Colonel Jernigan. I want to thank you and your team for all of your work. To the business leaders and the community leaders, nothing happens without us all being together. You've heard me say it many times before. One team, one fight, one voice, one city. We've come a long way. Mr. Henry, I want you to know we got a long way to go. But we're getting there, and we're getting there fast. And I think we have full confidence now that we're going to hit our mark. So God bless you all, and thank you all very much.